Got the shades on cause it's bright out there around the hay fever. Right, it seems that when I do these videos, they work for people because people go, it's not just me that thinks that. So let's talk about matters of the heart, or emotions, or sex drive, or all of these things. Bearing in mind I'm 48 now, right? And your desire, your libido, and all of that stuff tends to fuck off when you've been on happy pills for years. And also you get older and you put on weight, and all of these things go against you actually feeling like you actually want to get undressed in front of somebody, let alone have any desire. However, just lately, obviously I've been off the happy pills now for nearly 2 years. That's got to do something. I tell you what, never been happier. I have to say that if you look at the message that it says on there, it says can cause depression and suicidal thoughts. Well, for me personally, when I look back now, I've taken a lot of steps in my life to make sure that things are in place and that I'm doing the things that I should be at the time to stop me getting stressed. I've eliminated a lot of stressful people out of my life, and generally speaking, for the most part, my life is stable, where it should be, bills are getting paid, roof over my head, a lot of food in my belly, and all that kind of stuff, and I watch me drinking and everything else. So depression generally doesn't come near you unless you're really having a bad time. So sexual desire, I thought it was game over. I thought that was it. I thought that pretty much it just must be one of those things, whatever. We'll get on to that in a minute. And I was thinking back to myself, I was thinking that it seems like a dream. When I met my daughter's mother, it's really weird. I was her friend first, and I really fancied her, and I was like 16, 17 at the time. She was like 18, 19. And I looked at this woman and she was just everything, right? And I mean, and I thought, right, the best I can hope for here is friendship, and I was her friend. And then I remember we were sat having a cuddle, right, and she said, can we not be friends? And I thought, oh, she's getting rid of me as a friend. Anyway, she wasn't. You can work the rest out for yourself. Anyway, never been so in love with a woman at that point in my life. It almost made me sick. She was my every thought, morning, noon and night. I couldn't wait to finish work to see her, and I hated when she dropped me off at night when I had to go in because I'd work in the morning. And everything in between that, generally speaking, even though we had a few rows because that's what fucking kids do. And I didn't realise, she only told me this a few years ago, she said, well, when we used to fall out, we used to make up better, if you know what I mean. I was like, you stupid woman, you fuck, well, whatever. But yeah, I looked at her and I knew straight away that was a woman that was going to have my kids. It's the most weirdest feeling in the world. I could tell you exactly where I was, what position I was in the car, sitting, looking over at her, where we were. It was, it was like a thunderbolt. Anyway, life goes on and all the rest of it, and we grow up, and people do grow apart. And we split up. So there was another woman. And I got with her for years. I was with her for years. And I remember that in both cases, when you got together, you ended up so excited to see these people, and the lust and the love and everything. And I got to the stage of thinking that was just a dream, almost, that it was so long ago and that I can't ever imagine being like that. Well, here we are today, and I've started noticing, by the way, I have been going to the gym, and I've joined the gym. What I'm doing, I've had to join pure gyms because I go at 4 to 4:30 to 5 in the morning. Now that might seem ridiculous to you. However, it's the only time that I can get in there that's not full of fucking idiots. And when I say full of idiots, it's just full of posers or whatever. I just want to get in and get done and get out. So they've got an app and it says, what do you want to develop? This. And I'm just going to go for strength, right? Because when you get to a certain age, cardiovascular is not as good for you as weight is. So that's what I'm going to do, is go for that. And I'm figuring 3 times a week so far. So it'll be Monday, Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, or if I've had a bad week, weekend, i.e. I've been a bit busy, it might be Tuesday and then Thursday and Saturday. We'll see. But anyway, it's happening. And I'm immediately starting to feel places in the body. But I don't know what it's done to the brain, but it's done something. And I'm feeling optimistic about the opposite sex. I'm actually thinking that I really do need to make an effort at this point. And things have woken up. It's not to say they didn't work, but they've just woken up, and I'm starting to look like I used to at females and go, you know what, Whereas before I was just sort of, there was like apathy. I was like, oh, whatever. And I can't think that it's only been just this little bit of exercise that's done it. And if it has, excellent. I have no idea. Maybe it's just a more positive mindset. Maybe knowing that there will be a change, and I don't know. The sun is one of those things. Does the sun affect you lot? Yeah, and obviously it's everything that's out there, isn't it? I mean, there are some shapes and sizes that really would not work. There are some things out there that are about as attractive as, I don't know, Diane Abbott or Mo Molan, but although Mo Molan was a funny old bird. However, do any of you look back at your life and think that's never going to happen again? Not just because of the age, but because all of that's gone. Or some of you will have experienced a lot of upset and heartache. Cool. I got to the point of trying to take my own life once only, and that's before I was diagnosed with bipolar, and I was splitting up from the second long-term relationship, what I've just sort of briefly talked about. Anyway, it was a lot of things. I was drinking really heavily. I had, and this is part of my problem, and it could be part of other people's problems. So I tell you where I fucked up, and you might be able to go, I put my responsibilities on others instead of taking responsibility for myself. That's where I went wrong. That's where I was lazy. That's where I didn't make, the right choices. I took the wrong choices. And your gut instinct tells you to take the right choices, but you don't listen to it, and that's where you go wrong. But I relied on somebody else to take care of the bills, somebody else to take care of the money, somebody else to take care of all of these things, and I just lived for the day. But living for the day doesn't do your mental health very good, because you're worried now what's coming around the corner. Debt collectors, bills that aren't being paid. How are you going to get your rent sorted? Now you're driving around without car insurance because you can't afford that, so you've got to worry about that. That was what I was like back in the day. And all I had to do back then actually was be a man, but I wasn't. I mean, if I'd have, say for instance, at a very young age, got a job, done all the right things, who knows where I'd be now. But I wasn't made like that, and it took years and years and years to work that out. But anyway, I did. But going back, I had huge passion for life, everything. And I would say I let it diminish over the last 10 years. Maybe a bit longer than that, actually. Go 12 years. And at some point of that 12 years was the worst part of my life. And then it's got better and better and better and better. And now I'm at almost probably the best part of my life. 17, 18, 19 was fun, the mischief and the ridiculousness you got up to, and the fucking sex. Oh my God. Ugh. But there is more to life than sex, although it is very nice. However, the thing is, when you get older, you don't think about the quantity. You don't think how many people you could probably try and get into bed. When you're a young lad, that's just literally, it's just primal. Now, you think that I couldn't unless I was really, really attracted to her and she was something quite special, and the chances of a long relationship were on the cards, that kind of thing. And who knows? But I am feeling that there are things changing at the moment and looking up. And I am feeling that there are chances that I might meet a new lady sideways. What fun that'll be. But I had put everything into the early part of my YouTube, and I put life pretty much on hold. I went to the local pub. I didn't go out much. And it was all about doing YouTube, being active on that, and going to demonstrations and stuff like that. And then when the demonstration part stopped, it was the other part, and I got sort of in a rut. I'm now getting myself out of that rut, and I'm feeling really positive, actually, I have to say. The job is the job. I've got my head around the job and all the rest of it. It's okay, right? It's never going to be the best job in the world, but it's okay. It's boring as fuck going around in circles, but it's money, and you know that money's coming in every week, right? And you know the job. That kind of chills you out a bit. And also, you can say whatever the fuck you like on here and know that the people that you work with are more right-wing than you are. And if somebody tried to go to them, you've got to do this or other, it wouldn't be very good for the people that tried it. Seriously. And you know, when you work with a lot of these, I go onto these sites that I go on and you talk to people, they're all saying what we're thinking when you ask them. You have to ask them, pry it out of them. There it is. But yeah, so I'm thinking to myself, we're going to see how this, where this thing goes. But the point I was saying this was, you know, when you think back at your exes, if you can remember right back then, it feels weird because you still love that person back then, and you still love that time, a lot of it, and it's a really weird emotion, and you can get sad because you haven't got that, but you have to realise also that that person, like the vehicles you were driving back then, doesn't exist. They're a very different person now, and if the pair of you met now, you wouldn't click. And even in the second relationship, bloody hell, I tell you what, when you meet a woman in her prime, right, who's very, very, oh, there's the best way of putting this, who was a very sexual woman and really hard to put into words and to keep it respectable, but even where she had just attracted people to her. Well, when you've got that and everything clicks, it's wonderful. However, as I say, life is much more than just that. And there's other things that end up getting in the way and just fucking that up. It's called life. But yeah, and you look back at that, as I was saying, and it's just a dream. And you really, really wish for those days. But they're long gone. And you think, I'm never going to have it again. But now I'm getting a feeling that that could happen. It's really exciting. So, there it goes. Anyway, I'm going to go around again in circles. Just wondered if you had these feelings. Whether you felt that way, where you loved the women that they were, or in this case, maybe for you, if you're a girl or a man, or if you're gay, it might be your other partner. Let's not rule anybody out here. But whether you felt really strong emotions to that time, but yeah, you wouldn't want them back, but you'd like to have that again, just not perhaps with that person. Maybe you want that person back, I don't know. You're going to put a barrier down, is it? No. Plastic copper. Anyway, it was just a thought, because I know a lot of you have your thoughts and stuff like that, and I wondered how you handled them and what you thought about it. But yeah, you have a lot of time to think in the truck, obviously. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the future, and I think if any of you can, or if any of you are struggling with depression or whatever, you ain't gonna get another go at this life. Not this one. I believe that we might come back again as something else, but whatever. You can't get another day back. And if you're unhappy, look at what it was that made you unhappy. Are you with them now? If you're not, are you going to let that person or that situation or that time ruin the rest of your life? Because if you have, these people have ruined your entire life. And would you give them that? If you could stop it, perhaps? I let a lot of my history really fuck my life. And now I've realised that, no, don't give them that. Because that's giving them more power than they deserve. And you've got to weigh up situations in the past for what they were. People, whatever. And when you think about a lot of these people that wronged you, have you seen them lately? Do you know how they're getting on? While you might not bear them any sympathy, you might find out what they've gone through after they shit all over you because life got to them and karma and stuff like that, is that they've had a lot worse life and a lot worse time than what they put you through. I know that that is the case for the people that have wronged me. I had fucking to do with it. Karma's a bitch. Karma will get you. But you shouldn't let these things put you off the opportunity of perhaps finding maybe new love, new happiness. Move away from the place that's shit that causes you misery and try again. The only thing that's stopping you having everything you want is you. And it's the one thing that stopped me having everything that I wanted, was me. Either laziness or, I don't know, procrastination. Call it what you will. But now that I've finally got things now sorted, or a lot more sorted, I'm happy. And with the help of friends, obviously, I have achieved that because I've made an effort, and you could do it. But this is just one of those like rambles. But you've only got set time on this planet, and you owe it to yourself to try and get yourself away from whatever it is that may be pissing you off, right? And put yourself somewhere where you could be better. Now, you've got to get your head straight first, because it might not actually be where you are. It might be what you're doing that's making you upset, or the way you're acting, or the way you're dealing with things. You got to look at that and be critical about yourself. But if you can get that on top of that, because I can be really critical of myself, once I got on top of that, future, I could do anything I want now. If I wanted to, next week I could book a flight and fuck off somewhere. It's not something I want to do, actually. But yeah, I could do now a lot more than I could before, because I'm in a situation now where I've worked hard and I can. If you remember Christmas, how fucked I was, not good at all. So yeah, this is just a heads up. Right, we'll let Mr. go first because he's bigger. But yeah, I was just wondering how you dealt with affairs of the heart, what you think about the past, how it affects your future, and all the rest of it. And I like reading your comments, so that's why I said it. But yeah, so we are going to make an effort to look for a new Mrs. Sideways. Now's the time. We're in the mood. Sun's out. I'm not going to finish that Realmo statement. But yeah, I'm off now. And by the way, I'm on a private road, so I can now turn the phone off while I'm going.